Insightful podcasts by informative hosts. Insights into Things, a podcast network. Welcome to Insights into Entertainment, a podcast series taking a deeper look into entertainment and media. Your hosts, Joseph and Michelle Whalen, a husband and wife team of pop culture fanatics, are exploring all things from music and movies to television and fandom.
Welcome to Insights into Entertainment. This is episode 89, Jack and the Peanuts for the Holidays. I'm your host, Joseph Whalen, and my crazy cat lady co-host, Michelle Whalen.
Hey.
Went all script there, didn't I?
You did. I'm surprised.
So why are you the crazy cat lady? Let's get a shot of the shirt first.
So my shirt is of cats, Doctor Who, the various doctors as different cats.
Right. And what marked the occasion for wearing that?
We have a new family member that joined us as of last Wednesday.
And who is that?
That would be our little pumpkin.
Our new kitten.
Yes,
who
we had...
Our two slightly older cats are having a difficult time adjusting to.
Yeah, they're not quite sure. Fortunately, Pumpkin's basically been staying in our daughter Madison's room. She's been sequestered. She's under quarantine.
She's in kitty jail.
She's in kitty jail. She has very nice accommodations, I will say, just so that we can give everybody time to...
It's like Al Capone's cell at Eastern State.
At Eastern State. So it the other two, Dorothy and Leota, they definitely know that somebody's here because they've seen her, they've sniffed her, and they've both hissed and growled at her.
Yes, they have.
So
they've acknowledged her.
They have acknowledged her,
in
and they
the
realize
most hostile of ways.
right, and they realize little Pumpkin isn't going anywhere. So we'll see how it goes.
So I think next week we will probably have our Insights into Teens episode. Will be dedicated to Pumpkin. We'll introduce her, show some pictures and movies, and
bring her into the studio.
Perhaps she'll have a guest appearance and so forth.
Set up a little spot for her. Yeah.
But I had to go off script there just for your benefit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
But we're not talking about that today. Today we're talking about entertainment news. So today in our Disney Detective, maybe there's hope for Jack Sparrow. McDonald's Happy Meals will be a Disney-themed sort of Happy Meal-y thingy. We'll talk about that.
Nice.
A holiday special, it's maybe not so special. And we're not talking about the Star Wars one now there, right? And then in our Tales from the Edge of the Galaxy, Daisy Ridley claims that Baby Yoda and... Oh, she chimes... Sorry, my eyes aren't working today.
If you actually read what I wrote.
I'm going off script, I said.
Damn, don't go off script.
She chimes in on Baby Yoda and Rey. Star Wars fans are fuming at Disney, which I actually read that article. Was kind of surprised by that one.
Mm-hmm.
And you all right there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All
Sorry.
Right. And sneak peek at the new Star Wars resort, which looks very cool.
Yeah.
And then in our entertainment news, we'll talk about Wonder Woman 1984 and the unorthodox release of it and what it will mean for Black Widow's release as well. And we have good news from Charlie Brown. Excuse me. And then we'll finish up with our insightful picks of the week. Before we do that, though, I would invite folks to subscribe to us. You can get video versions of the podcast if you look for Insights into Things. You can get audio versions of the podcast if you search for Insights into Entertainment. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Amazon, and now I just got notified that we are available on Pandora as well.
Ooh.
Moving up in the world.
Yes, we are.
We would also invite folks to reach out to us, give us some feedback. You can email us at comments@insightsintothings.com. You can hit us on Twitter at insights_things. You can hit us on Facebook at facebook.com/insightsintothingspodcast, or you can get links to all of our social media on our website at www.insightsintothings.com. Are we ready to get into it?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Go for Disney Detective.
So last week we obviously brought up the whole issue with Johnny Depp losing his role through the Warner Brothers movies that were the prequels to the Harry Potter series. So now it seems that there is a petition going around to make sure that Johnny Depp doesn't lose anything from Pirates of the Caribbean. So in an article that was posted on cinemablend.com, it talks about how, even though he lost the Grindelwald part in the Fantastic Beasts movies, that, now they want to do a petition so that he doesn't lose his Captain Jack role in the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And as of the time the article was posted, they actually had 300,000 signatures. Now, the interesting thing, which we, kind of talked about last week, was that plans for the new version of Pirates of the Caribbean didn't even have Jack Sparrow in the role. And this was even decided kind of before all of the troubles, with him and his ex-wife even started. So now they're saying, give him a chance to give him a chance to actually be part of it, kind of show the support for it. So I guess we'll kind of, have to wait and see. The other thing too that, the article kind of talked about is that his ex-wife is going to be in upcoming, I believe she's supposed to be in Aquaman 2, and because of everything, people are also saying boycott that, to kind of show your support for Johnny Depp versus, her, because now there's all this stuff coming out that maybe she was really in the wrong and not him. So whole lot of back and forth, with the two of them. But again, just a petition. Who knows if Disney will actually do anything or change anything, because again, I don't know how far along they are in the script. We really haven't heard much about it. We obviously know they haven't started filming it, so who knows, maybe they'll go in and do something with that.
Well, and that's the thing, like we had discussed last week, Disney doesn't exactly have a spotless track record when it comes to their talent.
Right.
You've got a lot of people who are nested in controversy with a lot of the Disney stars, especially the young stars that they start out with and
right.
what they ultimately evolve into. The fact that they're calling for people to boycott, movies that his ex-wife were in, I think that's probably a little extreme.
Right.
I mean, it's been found in the courts that he was guilty of spousal abuse, so let's not lose sight of that.
Right.
We certainly don't want to glorify any inappropriate behavior that he's done, even if you do like the work that he's done as an actor. But did he violate any terms or clauses of his employment with Disney?
Right, exactly. You have to kind of look at it from that standpoint.
Right. Disney has a code of conduct for its talent, and if you violate that code of conduct, there are consequences.
Right.
If he wasn't in violation of that, maybe because he wasn't actively under contract at the time or whatever, then you can't really enforce it at that point in time. You have to treat him fairly like everyone else.
Right.
But, it's interesting to see the kind of support that he's getting here that he wasn't getting on the Harry Potter side of things.
Right.
So we'll see how it turns out. And
because Disney fans are better than Harry Potter.
Are they?
I don't know.
I
like them both, but obviously I'm more Disney than, Harry Potter. So.
Well, let's not judge. Tell us about McDonald's and their new line of Happy Meal tools.
So, if you are a collector of Happy Meal toys and you happen to be a Disney fan, McDonald's has a new line of Disney World themed Happy Meal toys. The article came from people.com. And so the line of Happy Meal toys are to commemorate the anniversary celebration. So it's Mickey and Minnie have inspired a brand new of Happy Meal toys, and each have feature a different ride from the park. So you have Goofy on Expedition Everest, you have the Runaway Railway, you have Pluto on Jungle Cruise, Minnie is on the Dinosaur Ride and Pirates of the Caribbean, Mickey is on Splash Mountain and the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Donald is on the Mad Tea Party, and Mickey and Minnie are together in a railroad card. And if you get all of them, they actually link up in a cute little train. There was no Haunted Mansion one, so that's why I wasn't going all crazy. I wanted to get them. So customers can collect all the toys at participating McDonald's locations through December 14th, obviously while supplies last. And also, if you purchase a Happy Meal, customers can also enter for a chance to win a vacation for 4 to Walt Disney World.
Which has to be taken 2 at a time because of limitations on capacity.
Right. And obviously, I have various different Happy Meal toys in my collection of Disney, because Disney usually comes out with something every couple of years, either anniversary park related or something.
So I'm curious, which one is on the one to commemorate the Great Movie Ride? Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's the one, the last one. That's their
That's the one that took over the Great Movie Ride.
Right, that's the one that took over the Great Movie. Yeah.
I'm still bitter about that.
Oh, that's actually cute. I didn't realize that the little Epcot one with Daisy and Soren.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of cute.
That
See,
is cute.
now I might have to. Damn.
See?
And usually what I end up doing is I just buy them on eBay, because this way I don't have to get all the different Happy Meals.
Eat the 30% markup and get them on eBay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
that works.
For those of you that, are toy collectors, or, who knows when the next toy show will be. But
that's true.
Yeah, you can probably find them all on eBay right now if you're not, interested in actually having the Happy Meal toy.
Well, I'm done holiday shopping for you, so I'm not getting these for you.
Okay, that's fine.
So you're okay to go out and get these if you want.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah, the green light.
I'm so glad to know that.
So, Wonderful World of Disney Magic Holiday Celebration. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so coming from the website wdwnt.com, the Wonderful World of Disney Magical Holiday Celebration is actually doing its 5th anniversary edition. Now, obviously, because of COVID and everything that's going on, this will actually feature nostalgic performances of holidays past. So that's why when I kind of teased about it not being such a, special holiday special, because there's nothing new. It's all repeat performances, unfortunately, because of everything. They are going to have a host who will be Trevor Jackson, who is from the show Grown Up-ish, and also Derek and Juliana Hoff will co-host as well. So obviously they're really the only live new, I should say, part of this. Everything else are performances from all the various years that they've been doing the special on Thanksgiving night. But the one thing that is kind of cool is that viewers will actually get a sneak peek of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is the new ride that's going to be opening up in Epcot. Now, that was slated to open up this year, but because of, obviously, all the pushback, it's supposed to be opening in 2021. There'll also be a sneak peek of the Disney and Pixar's new movie Soul, which that premieres on Disney Plus next month. So the special will air on Thanksgiving Day, which will be at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay. Well, that sounds kind of cool. I mean, instead of thinking of it as old performances, think of it as like a greatest hits.
There you go. Disney's greatest hits with some sprinkles of teasers for new and upcoming things.
There you go. I mean, they're going back pretty far. You got 2016 performances here.
Well, yeah, because
2017
they've been doing
performances.
the Thanksgiving show for 5 years now. So they're,
You got people on here I've never even heard of before. That's impressive. Hey, but Pentatonics is going to be in there.
Pentatonics is there.
That was a good performance.
That was
I
actually
liked
a
that one.
very good performance. So
Kelly Clarkson.
yeah,
I
Jason
recognize-
Derulo, One Republic.
Don't know them.
If you
Don't know Jason. Don't know. I know Boys to Men. Boys
right,
to Men
Boys to
2016.
Men.
Andrea Bocelli.
Right.
I'll say the
you
name
know.
because I know you're going to have
Right,
trouble
right.
pronouncing it.
Right. Shaggy, Megan
From
Trainor.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Different Shaggy. Different Shaggy.
Shaggy. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's a Dimza Dimzel.
Tina Menzel, Christian.
She's going to be here as well.
Oh boy.
So
Good times.
should be fun.
Yeah.
You know we're going to watch it no matter what.
Oh, of course, because we'll be home. It's not like, we're
Exactly.
going
We're
anywhere.
not going anywhere. Right.
PJ's on Thanksgiving Day. Woo!
Although I'm sure we'll be Zooming with everyone.
I hope so. That'll be
So.
nice. Yeah.
But that was all we had for our Disney Detective.
Mhm.
We'll be back in a minute with our Tales from the Edge of the Galaxy. For over 7 years, the Second Sith Empire has been the premier community guild in the online game Star Wars: The Old Republic. With hundreds of friendly and helpful active members, a weekly schedule of nightly events, annual guild meet and greets, and an active community both on the web and on Discord. The Second Sith Empire is more than your typical gaming group. We're family. Join us on the Starforge server for nightly events such as operations, flashpoints, world boss hunts, Star Wars trivia, guild lottery, and much more. Visit us on the web today at www.thesecondsithempire.com. Tales from the Edge of the Galaxy.
Pew pew.
Don't do pew pew. There's no pew pew.
I have to. It's my thing. So our next story, talking about Daisy Ridley, she actually is defending Baby Yoda eating those eggs and says that Star Wars Episode 9 was Rey's perfect ending. So the article actually came from gamesradar.com, and if you hadn't been watching The Mandalorian, I don't know what you're waiting for, but anyway.
What rock are you on?
What
there?
rock are you living under? Pay, your monthly subscription and just start watching it. But there was a lot of controversy during the episode where Baby Yoda was eating all the unfertilized eggs. A lot of people actually, and I didn't include those stories last week, but there were people that were like, that's it, Baby Yoda is the most vile and evil Disney character because he's eating all these eggs, he's using the Force to get it. And she had this interview where not only was she talking about her character, but she basically said, look, Mando's got to eat, Baby Yoda's got to eat as well, and that's just that. And she's like, Baby Yoda, you got to do your thing. Obviously, it was kind of cruel, but at least he wasn't eating the fertilized ones, so I guess there's that. So she, she is obviously a fan of The Mandalorian and obviously didn't see any issue with what Baby Yoda was doing. But then in the other part of the article, she was talking about, her whole
Rey's sort of ending, I guess, with episode 9. And she says, I think for me, the beauty of episode 9 is that it ends with such hope and such potential. I just feel like that was Rey's perfect ending. The big battle was in 7, 8, and 9. And she said, and I think really Rey's probably running around the forest somewhere just having a great time. She went on to say, I feel totally, totally satisfied with how that story finished, and I just don't know what else she could do that I haven't had to do. She said also there were so many amazing characters in Star Wars that it's sort of an amazing thing. She said, I was watching the new episode of Mandalorian and just all the different places it can go beyond even where it is now. I'm so excited. And she talked about she doesn't feel her character that Rey needs to continue on because, again, there's so many other characters in the Star Wars universe that she feels it's their time to kind of come forward. So kind of cool.
Well, it's good that she feels that way because her character's probably not going to go anywhere at this point in time.
Right.
Was it the best way for her character to end? Probably, given how terrible the story was around her.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have gone a different direction once they made her Palpatine's daughter.
Right.
A granddaughter.
Right.
You couldn't really go a different direction there. You've killed off all the old characters except for Chewie.
Right.
Which is ironic because in the expanded universe, he was the first of the classic characters to die, and he's the only one that survived.
Plot twist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think you could have done more with the character, given how young she was. I think you could have... Like, the whole point of this last trilogy was to bring an end to the Skywalker saga.
Right.
And then, have a springboard for all these other things that could have happened outside of the Skywalker legacy.
Right.
And bringing someone in who has that force power, who has the connection to the Skywalker legacy, but isn't a Skywalker.
Right.
Probably would have been the best way to kick off the next set of movies.
I could see that.
But that's probably not going to happen now. And I think Disney, after that Solo movie, kind of learned their lesson that they can't crank these things out like an assembly line. They're not Marvel. They don't have that rich of a story. Well, it'd be different if they were actually borrowing from the expanded universe, but instead they threw the whole thing out.
Right, they said, nah, we're done with this.
Where Marvel, they've got 60 years, 70 years, 80 years of stories that they're pulling from.
Right.
That you're able to bring that stuff in different elements. You have to bring it in exactly the way it was.
Right.
And Star Wars is starting to learn that now too. But you look at the current season of The Mandalorian, and it's kind of drifting back into that realm of unlikelihood.
Right.
Because The Mandalorian was this fringe character on the edge of the galaxy to highlight the fact that there was more to the story of Star Wars than just the Skywalkers.
Right.
And now this season, you've got elements from the Clone Wars creeping in. You've got Boba Fett creeping in. You've got Ahsoka Tano creeping. So now you're taking this huge expanded universe that you're trying to portray and you're contracting it again. And you have these characters like Bo-Katan and Boba Fett and all these other characters that, next week we're expected to see Ahsoka Tano.
Right.
And they overshadow the Mando. So that's kind of what I'm scared about with this season of The Mandalorian is that it's going to become, the typical production line Star Wars of, okay, here's all these characters that we know and everybody somehow knows each other and we all go to Tatooine for some reason. I don't know why, this planet that was built as a backwater that nobody goes to, everybody happens
seems
on
to
it.
Well, maybe that's why everybody goes there because they know nobody else does.
But that's the thing. Like it's just so implausible.
Right, because there's all these other planets and all these other.
Like for instance,
things.
Disney. Okay, so we go to Disney pretty frequently, and there are times that we know that you've got friends from work or something else that are down there.
Right.
And you don't accidentally bump into them because there's millions of people that are there. If you want to see them, you need to make arrangements.
Right.
unlike Star Wars, where everybody seems to bump into everyone on Tatooine. It's like it's it's a big universe, people. Let's
Let's all
explore.
go someplace else.
Let's explore. So why are Disney fans fuming now?
So the article that came out, it's actually been in various different news outlets. This article happened to come from Looper.com. And what it seems is that Disney is refusing to pay royalties to a science fiction legend. So Alan Dean Foster is the author of a multitude of original novels and film novelizations, as well as an experienced franchised hand. He wrote Star Wars from the Adventures of Luke Skywalker, which was the novelization of George Lucas's 1977 film A New Hope, which was credited to Lucas as the author, as well as the 1978 sequel novel Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Most recently, the Star Wars universe. In the Star Wars universe, Foster penned the novelization of the 2015 Force Awakens. He's also tackled novelizations from Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Aliens Covenant, Transformers, Star Trek Into the Darkness, and Terminator Salvation. So the problem is that now Disney owns the rights to Foster's Star Wars novelizations from the adventures of Luke Skywalker and Splinter of the Mind, as well as his Alien stuff, because that was all 20th Century Fox stuff, which now Disney owns all of that. So it seems that they have actually stopped paying the royalties on all of these books. So it was November 18th. He actually went with the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of American Union to kind of fight this. And basically the statement that came out was that, Disney basically said, well, we bought the rights, but we don't have to pay royalties on anything because that was basically, those deals were made before we even owned it, is really what Disney is coming out and saying, where, the union is basically coming back and saying, when you buy another company, you acquire all of its liabilities as well as its assets. So if you're reaping the benefits of the assets, you need to be paying out. So again, Disney basically said in theirs that they're not obligated to keep up with any contracts that were made prior to them purchasing, making the acquisitions of this. So obviously, Twitter was all abuzz when the news came out about this. Basically everybody was saying Disney needs to pay, and the hashtag was #Disney must pay. The other thing too is he's sick. He has cancer. His wife is very ill. He just needs the money to help pay, his medical bills. He's not looking to make, millions off of it. He's basically just trying to survive. So hopefully, Disney will come around and realize, the error of their way. But this was, kind of a heartbreaking story for, this author. And he's probably not the only one that it's happening to, but who's, been doing this for, 40 plus years, give him his due.
Yeah, this is a typical Disney move here where Disney is leveraging its own muscle and its size by basically interpreting the law as it wants to, which is advantageous to itself. This is very similar to when we had done, we had the insightful pick of the movie surrounding the Lion King song.
Right.
And they did sort of the same thing there. They basically acquired the rights indirectly, not from the artist itself, but indirectly, and decided that they didn't have to pay royalties on it. And they lost in court. Well, they didn't lose in court; they settled out of court. And this sort of thing is probably going to have the same effect. They're gonna settle out of court because there's no copyright court in the world who's going to side with Disney on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What Disney is hoping to do is that they're hoping to fight long enough for him to die from cancer.
Yeah,
which is criminal in what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, I tend to bash Disney a lot, and these are the things that I bash Disney on.
Absolutely. And
you know, Disney. His Alan Dean Foster's lawyer made a case here and basically said either A, you need to pay the back royalties and pay for royalties if you continue to publish. B, you need to stop publishing the works that you're using and pay the back royalties. Or C, you need to stop publishing until you have a new agreement in place and pay the back royalties. Either way, you have to pay the back royalties. You don't have a choice.
Absolutely.
And Disney's really trying some underhanded stuff on this one here, and they're going to take their lumps for it.
Yep.
You know, especially given the climate in which they're doing this in, the condition he and his wife are in at this point in time, and the history that he has with the Star Wars fans. Do you really think the Star Wars fans are going to let Disney get away with this?
Absolutely. They're not.
They're going to tear Disney apart for this, and justifiably so.
Yep.
So we'll see. Hopefully they'll settle this out of court quickly and favorably, and we won't have to bash Disney too much on this, because it's not like I don't need more ammunition to bash them
Exactly.
on. I mean, this is just bonus here.
Too easy. All too easy.
All too easy. Nice.
Every now and then I get a good one.
So, what's our next exciting story?
So let's change to something, a little bit more upbeat. So news came out where Walt Disney World had actually shared the first images of the rooms at its upcoming Star Wars theme hotel. So this article actually came from The Mirror, which is actually based in the UK, and it shows some of the concept art and some of the actual pictures, again, that Disney has now shared of the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, which will be offering 2-night immersive experiences for the guests. So the ship is built at the hotel is actually built as if you are on a ship. And the whole experience about it is that once you check in, you're kind of sent on, on a smaller ship to bring you to your room, and everything is all, immersive in it. What was kind of cool was that the images that they were showing were almost exact to the artist renderings that had originally come out. So if you see here, this view is from the bunk beds that they have. So they have 2 bunk beds, looks like a queen size bed, and then, your portal to be able to see. And then I'm guessing, that one spot is actually a television that'll, and then it looks like you have some storage. One of the other views they show from the other side. Yeah, so here you can see the 2 bunk beds for your kids, a little, area, a little nightstand, and then obviously you have your hallway leading to the bathroom. Looks like your closet with your safe, as well as a little refrigerator, a little vanity area maybe. So really it looks like you're on a ship. What's going to be cool is, again, you're going to, check in, and then they're going to, transport you to the main ship. And then, again, there's going to be different activities that are going on within the resort, or quote unquote on the ship, for you to do. And then there'll be a special way that they'll actually take you to Galaxy's Edge. Now, they haven't really talked about pricing or anything yet. They haven't started doing bookings for this either, because they haven't said, okay, well, if you book at the resort, is a park ticket included, or do you need to additionally have a park ticket to go to Galaxy's Edge, or is it, something kind of linked in? Because, again, we really haven't heard too much, but kind of cool looking, something to look forward to, in the coming years, obviously. Again, right now, Nothing is available, to book, but it is set to open in 2021.
Book it as soon as you can. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care if it comes with a ticket. Book it. We're going.
Wait a second. We're not going to Galaxy's Edge for a couple of years. And what did we end up doing? We went how many months after it opened?
A few.
A few. We waited a few months.
It was a couple years in dog years.
Is that? Oh, okay. So, yeah. So, I'm sure if you, keep looking on the website as soon as something becomes available, I'm sure it'll pop up.
So when we had talked about this before, when they had originally announced this, they had announced that they were going to have limited stays there. So it's just for a couple of days, right?
Right. Yeah. You can only do, in this article, it just really talked about a 2-night immersive experience. So I don't think you can get...
So it's one of these, if we go down for a week,
we have to
we
make
do
multiple...
2 nights there, and then however... Not that we don't resort hop from, place to place because of the...
what's available.
Right, our
because
vacation club.
Well, and the reason why we did that the last time was when we made our vacation plans, we did them within a short period of time.
Well, we also did it over Christmas, too. So.
Right, so we we picked the week of Christmas.
We had how many resorts that time? 4?
Did we do 4?
Because we did Vero, we did Hilton, we did...
Well, because we did Hilton Head on the way home.
Right.
We went to Vero Beach because we didn't want to stay on property. And I think we did two...
We did 2 different resorts.
Right, because...
we did not Grand Floridian, the big one, where we had the big room.
Oh, we did that one that time?
Yeah, that was the first one we were
That
at.
was Old Key West.
Old Key West.
Right, because we did
and then
Old
we
Key
went
West.
To Saratoga Springs.
Right, because when we changed our dates around, we needed an extra. We realized we were getting down there a day early, and we blew like not a gazillion, but it seemed like just for one night we stayed in this 3-bedroom.
We spent a 5-night stay in one suite.
We were only there one day.
It was cool though.
It was cool.
It was a cool experience.
It was definitely, an interesting experience, and one for when things are a little bit more normal. We realized we could bring,
a lot of friends with us. What, 10 people, I think, there?
It was like 10 or 9 or something, because you had the master bedroom.
And then you had the extra bedroom with 2 doubles.
Right.
And then the couch in the main.
Yeah, because you had 2 other bedrooms that could sleep 4.
Well, no, you had one bedroom.
One bedroom that could sleep.
You had the master bedroom, then you had the guest bedroom that could
sleep
sleep 4.
Right.
And then you had the
couch
that could sleep 2.
Somebody could go on the deck, because
the chair itself, the one chair was a double bed that folded out. So,
with a full kitchen and everything.
So 4 resorts in one trip.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So, but we'll do the same thing here.
Yeah, we'll definitely, and I'm sure everybody else will be, doing the same thing, because again, most people, go down for more than just 2 days.
So should be fun. Mm-hmm. Keep our eye out. As soon as it's available, we'll book it, and then we'll let everyone else know.
We got to get ours in first. Nice.
It's for the sake of the show, so we can get on there and do a review.
Exactly. It's all for you guys.
Exactly.
Our watchers.
So that was all we had for our Tales from the Edge of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. We'll be back in a minute with our entertainment news.
Insights into Teens, a podcast series exploring the issues and challenges of today's youth. Talking to real teens about real teen problems. Explore issues from braces to puberty, social anxiety to financial responsibility. Each week, we talk about the topics concerning today's youth. We look at how the issues affect teens, how to cope with these issues, and how parents, friends, and loved ones can help teens handle these challenges. Check out our video episodes on youtube.com/insightsintothings.
Catch our audio versions on podcast.insightsintoteens.com or on the web at insightsintothings.com.
Go for entertainment news.
So, what does Wonder Woman 1984 mean for Black Widow and other various movies? So this article came from comicbook.com, and it was announced earlier this week that Wonder Woman 1984 was actually going to be released not only in the theaters, but also on HBO Max, which is HBO's streaming add-on service. It's going to be coming out on Christmas Day, and a different article actually that I read this morning talked about that it was actually only going to be on HBO Max for a month. So it's just going to be from December 25th to January 25th, and then just regular theatrical release. But again, with this coming out, what does it mean for Black Widow? Because that was actually the next Marvel movie that was supposed to be released, and now we have no dates as of right now when it's going to be coming out. So it kind of, Disney was definitely one who didn't want to bring anything to the streaming side of things, and then obviously, with the way things kind of went in the beginning of the year, Mulan kept getting pushed back, and then Mulan finally got released, on Disney Plus, but they did the whole tier thing where you had to pay the extra, $30 to be able to watch it right then and there. We were going to do it, and then we just never got around to it. So now in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to watch Mulan as part of regular Disney Plus. But the interesting thing is that for Wonder Woman 1984, there is no special tier. It's just part of your regular membership. And in looking at it, it's only $14.99 a month. So I could definitely see a lot of people paying more people to pay to be able to see Wonder Woman than maybe they did to see Mulan, because you figure it's, $15. If we were going to go to the movies, we'd be paying $45, for all of us to see it. And the fact that it's only going to be available for the 1 month, and then after that, it goes away. But again, what does this mean, for other, movies, that Disney has planned? Obviously, originally when everything, was going on, Bob Iger came out and said that, he didn't see, all of their big movies really going, to streaming or to be on, any of those platforms. They really needed to be in the theaters. And then obviously as time went on, and things kind of kept getting, pushed back, they realized they needed to do something with it. And I think it was a smart move for them to do that. So now it kind of makes you wonder, is it something where maybe, we probably won't see anything before the end of the year, because they do have some other things, coming out on Disney Plus. We have the Disney Pixar movie Soul that'll be next month. And then we're supposed to be getting some of the WandaVision stuff coming out. So maybe this is something they're planning for the beginning of next year if things don't start looking any better with, COVID cases and the numbers, within the U.S. Maybe Disney will finally decide, what, let's just put it on Disney Plus to get it out there. So,
well, what amazes me is the fact that they've been in this quarantine mode now for, I don't know, how many months now? 10 months now almost. And they still haven't come up with a viable, workable way of doing this. Everyone's sort of testing the waters 10 months into this.
Yeah.
And you've got movies and TV shows to a lesser extent that are in production now. And they still don't have a plan on how they're going to roll these out. Like, I could almost see them having a pay-per-view option.
Right.
Because you have to make your money back on these. You're not making your money back on a monthly subscription on a movie that's got $100 million budget.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Right.
So you have to have some kind of direct income from that movie via ticket sales or pay-per-view sales or something like that. And the fact that they haven't come up with anything yet kind of makes me, you look at things like Quibi, for instance.
Right.
And it was a very traditional Hollywood-centric idea that they wanted to bring to something that was revolutionary with the internet. And it failed miserably.
Right.
And it makes me think that these Hollywood executives are so far over their heads at this point in time that they have no idea how that they're going to make money in this new environment that we're in, because there's still no talk of the theaters reopening anytime soon.
Right, and especially with the numbers rising again, any of the theaters that have opened are probably going to be the first thing to close. So, where we were willing to pay the $30 to watch Mulan, and then within the following week, they were like, oh, but if you wait until December, you don't have to pay at all. So then we were like, all right, we'll wait. But if they had said the only way to watch it was to pay the $30.
If you don't pay your $30, this isn't coming to Disney Plus for a year. A lot more people would have been motivated
then we
to get
would
it.
Then we would have said, all right, here's my $30 because it's again cheaper for all of us.
It's almost like Disney came up with a model, and then decided to shoot themselves in the foot with it.
Yeah, and honestly, if you weren't willing to pay the $30, how were you going to go see it in the theater? Because I don't know any. Now, granted, if you're a single person, yes, $30 would have been steep for one person
and I'd be more inclined to spend $30 to see it in the theater than to see it at home on my living room couch.
Well, yeah, because of the full surround sound
It's
and
a
the
very
whole
different experience that you're getting.
Oh, absolutely. But we also have a really big TV and a pretty decent surround sound,
but not everybody does.
Right, and not everybody does. And there are plenty of people that when they watch it, they're just watching it on their laptop or their phone even. So, yeah, I could see, why do I want to spend $30 when
and $30 might not be the magic point.
Right.
$15. And the other thing, remember, if you paid that $30, you got to keep it.
Right.
You can watch it over and over again.
Right.
It wasn't.
Well, you didn't get to keep it. It was part of your
part of your
library.
Subscription. Right. It's part of your
as
subscription.
long as you
So maybe $15 and you get it for a 48-hour period is a better model.
Right. Because and back in the day when you could do the on-demand stuff through your cable company, when they would offer.
You still can do that, actually.
Yeah, it's been.
Nobody does. But
nobody does, but you could still do it. I'm surprised they didn't capitalize more on that.
Yeah.
Do, $15, and I could see $15 is that perfect.
Yeah.
You get it for, 4 days, say,
Sure.
Not a week, not 2 days, you get it, So I definitely think, to be able to watch Wonder Woman 1984, we're going to spring for the $15.
We'll get HBO Max for that month. We'll watch all the stuff that we want to watch for that month, and then we'll stop.
Right. Kind of like what we did with, Picard. We're like, all right.
We got the free trial for that.
Right, we did get the free trial, but then you didn't cancel it in time, so we
did
end up.
I did pay.
So we
paid.
I was
okay with
but
that.
It wasn't horrible. It was 1 month, and it was
okay
$8 or whatever. So, but yeah.
But it shocks me that these movie executives are continuing to produce content, but have no plan for how they're going to make a profit off of it when they try to deliver it.
Or you do a tier of, okay, if you're only going to watch it, so for $10 you get it for 24 hours. For $30 you get it for a week.
Right.
So if you wanted to,
Yeah, I guess you could do that, but if I spend $15 and I get it for 4 days, if I need to watch it again, I'll spend another $15 and get another 4 days for it.
Right, but I'm just saying, if you kind of tier it down versus, for like the person who, oh, well, I'm only one person. If I go to the theater, I'm going to watch it for less than,
Yeah, but at that point in
$30.
time, how many times does a single person need to watch the same movie?
How many times did certain people go to see Star Wars? And
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Exactly.
No idea.
So we'll see. Obviously, again, like you said, you think by now they'd have a plan in place as to how they're going to deal with all these movies
Right.
that, they're starting to kind of backlog, really.
Right.
So-
So yeah, we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, we'll see.
how it works out. So Apple tried to pull a Lucy on us and pull the football out.
Right.
Where do we stand now with that?
Yeah, so obviously, I don't think we talked about it, but when Halloween came around, some of those staple television shows that always come out, certain times a year, The Great Pumpkin wasn't on regular TV. Apple Plus got the rights to it, and the only way you could see it was if you actually had Apple Plus, which... How many people? Raise your hand if you have Apple Plus.
And if you do have it, you probably don't know because you got it for free when you bought something.
Right. So, there's not that many people out there that, that subscribe to it, but I'm sure there are some. It's obviously not up there in the top, the top list of streaming services. But now it seems that Charlie Brown is coming back to broadcast television. So PBS, PBS Kids, and Apple announced Wednesday that Snoopy and the Gang will be coming to television for the holidays after all. Through Apple TV, though Apple TV has the rights to the Peanuts content, a new deal with PBS will enable the broadcaster to air a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and a Charlie Brown Christmas this year. The beloved specials will actually air ad-free on November 22nd and December 13th, respectively. And again, this comes after... there was a whole lot of controversy with, The Great Pumpkin not being anywhere to be found unless you had Apple TV. So again, nice to see, that it's going to be available. So a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving will be available starting November 18th and to watch free from November 25th to the 27th. And then a Charlie Brown Christmas will be available on December 4th on Apple Plus, and then will be able to be streamed for free December 11th, 12th, and 13th.
So this is clear evidence that pressure on a major corporation actually can have some effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people were very upset that you would take something that has been on public television for 40 years now.
40 plus years, I think, even more than that.
And you're going to... And it's funny because the same kind of concerns came up when HBO acquired the rights to Sesame Street as well.
Right, yeah.
And they wound up coming to terms where all the new stuff came out on HBO, and then a couple months later it would come out on PBS.
Right, on regular PBS.
And that deal worked because it saved
Mm-hmm.
Sesame Street because
Yeah.
Sesame Street's funding had been cut.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the deal was with the Peanuts franchise having their rights sold out to Apple for a period of time or not, but it's good to see that a compromise was reached.
Mm-hmm.
So we can all have our... Not that I was never a big fan of Charlie Brown and the Peanuts myself.
Right.
But, I remember watching it as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It would be unfortunate if today's children couldn't watch it because there's a lot of lessons we learned from it.
Yep.
So that was all we had for our entertainment news. Figure we'd end on a high note there, and we'll be right back with our insightful picks of the week. Go for your insightful pick.
So my insightful pick is a show that is currently airing on Disney Plus, but actually started out elsewhere. It is called Brain Games, and it is on, like I said, Disney Plus. It is under the National Geographic header with Disney Plus. So Brain Games is an American popular science television series that explores cognitive science by focusing on illusions, psychological experiments, and counterintuitive thinking. The series actually debuted on National Geographic in 2011 just as a special, and then it returned as an original series in 2013 and set a record of the highest premiering rating for any National Geographic original series. And then they went on to do a seventh season, or continue doing seasons up until 2016. Well, then they kind of revamped the show and did a few more seasons. So actually, in December of 2019, it was announced that a new format of the show would be done, and it would actually be hosted by Michael Kay. And that actually started premiering in January of this year. Maddie and I kind of happened upon it. I think I had watched a couple of the episodes just on myself. So the first couple of seasons, the episodes were an hour long, and then with the other seasons, they became a half hour long. So when Maddie and I were doing our TV night, our movie nights, we kind of ran out of Disney movies to watch. So I was like, all right, let's see if she's into this. And she actually, really is. Because again, they do all these little mind tricks and things and teasers. But what's neat is after they do all of these different things, they explain how it worked, how they got you to do these brain teasers on you, what the reasoning was behind it. So she's at that age where it makes sense to her. I think for younger kids, they might not get it, but I think the older kids have an appreciation for it. And we're only on season 3, and I think each season has like 20 episodes, so we haven't even gotten to the newer format stuff. We're still on the older stuff, but really kind of cool and makes you think, okay.
All right, cool pick.
Thank you.
So my pick this week is a documentary, but kind of a non-traditional documentary. I happened to stumble upon this one trying to find something to watch on Amazon Prime. And this goes back a ways. This was actually produced in 2010, and it's called With Great Power, The Stan Lee Story, an Epix original production on the life and times of legendary comic book creator Stan Lee, featuring Nick Cage, Kirsten Dunst, and others. This feature-length documentary looks at some of the more than 200 comic book characters Stan Lee is the co-creator of, including Spider-Man, Hulk, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and more. Sean Astin, Tobey Maguire, Roger Corman, Frank Miller, and others discuss the life and extraordinary career of Marvel Comics legend Stan Lee and the army of characters that originated from his mind that today can be found in comic books, movie screens, and in retail stores around the world. What I thought was really interesting was this wasn't just a bunch of people talking about Stan Lee and how great he was.
Mm-hmm.
There were extensive interviews with Stan Lee here that were done, obviously, before he passed away a few years ago. But they were done in very intimate ways. Like you go into Stan Lee's house in California,
Mm-hmm.
he takes you into his study where he does all this creating. You see the computer that he writes everything on. And,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I mentioned to you that was kind of funny is they show him typing away, and, 70 years into his career, he's still typing with 2 fingers. He never learned how to type, even as prolific a writer as he was. He never learned how to touch type. But you meet his wife, and
Okay.
you learn how he met his wife and some of the similarities between how he met his wife and Captain America and Peggy Carter from the first Avenger. You see some of the parallels there, and it's a very interesting side of Stan Lee that I don't think I've ever seen in any other documentary, and it was very, very well done, very touching. There's a moment in there where Stan Lee's wife is reading a Valentine's Day card.
Okay.
And he wrote the Valentine's Day card himself, and it was the typical quirky, creative, but touching way that Stan has of writing. And at one point in time, she's reading through it, and she breaks down
Aww.
in the middle of reading through it, and it's touching to see that they're married for so many years. They were married for over 60 years, and the fact that they still love each other, they drive each other crazy, and they admit it, but they feed off of each other's energy, and it was a different kind of documentary. It was very similar to the Adam West documentary.
Okay.
But it was done in a much more intimate way to really get to know Stan. So I really recommend it. It is 10 years old at this point in time, but it still holds itself pretty well. So With Great Power, the Stan Lee story on Amazon Prime. And we'll be right back. So I think that was all we had this week. Did you have any afterthoughts you wanted to talk about?
No, I think we're good.
I do want to invite folks to check out our long-form articles that are getting stale now because they haven't been publishing.
I was going to say, when was the last time you did any of those?
They're available on Medium at medium.com.
Maybe next year.
Insights into Things.
Or during the holidays when,
Well, when the history podcast starts up, I'll have plenty of material that I can publish on that because all that stuff is already written.
Right.
So hopefully...
Spoiler.
Hopefully after the new year, we'll have the new podcast up and running.
There you go.
All the research is done on it. The scripts are written. They just need to be proofread, and then we'll start production on it, and we'll have something good for folks.
Okay.
In the meantime, you can listen to our versions of our podcast as Insights into Entertainment, or catch the video versions as Insights into Things on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Amazon, and now Pandora. You can reach out to us, give us your feedback, tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. You can email us at comments@insightsintothings.com.
You can find us on Twitter at insights_things.
We stream 6 days a week on Twitch at twitch.tv/insightsintothings. If you are an Amazon Prime member, that means you get a free monthly Twitch Prime subscription, which we would appreciate you throwing our way.
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/insightsintothingspodcast.
On Instagram, we are Insights Into Things.
The audio versions of all of our podcasts are on podcast.insightsintoentertainment.com.
You can get high-res video versions of the podcasts, all of our podcasts, on youtube.com/insightsintothings.
And if you can't remember where any of these various things are, you can go to our main website, which is www.insightsintothings.com, and you can find it all there.
Don't look at me when you criticize people's memories. You give me a complex.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's all for this week.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, we will be doing a podcast next week over the holiday. But
we are?
Yeah.
Because it's not like we're going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going shopping. We're not. We'll be here.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll do it Friday.
We'll do a Black Friday podcast.
Black Friday podcast. You never know.
Maybe we'll sell some stuff too, just to fund the podcast
Right,
while we can.
Stay safe,
check
everyone.
back for guests for gifts for everyone.
Right, exactly.
Another one in the books. We're
Have
out.
a good week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.